Even with the spring game canceled, there's still plenty to talk about when it comes to the Mountaineers. And for that, we bring in our West Virginia insider, Geoff Coyle. Geoff, all eyes on Will Grier ever since that finger injury. How has he looked so far this spring?
Well, he certainly is all healed up, and I think all of the expectations are as high as they were a year ago. You know, when he was healthy, he had a top 5 offense as far as big plays in the passing game, and of course, he was able to be a top 10 finisher in touchdown passes. What they're working on this year with him is efficiency. Let's make sure that this isn't, an all or nothing type of situation where it's either touchdown or 3 and out. They're working on getting long, sustained drives, being able to really control the clock, and that's something that I think he's certainly excited about the challenge going into his senior season.
And when it comes to the running back position, is there a clear-cut number 1 for West Virginia yet?
I don't think so at this point, and they kind of like it that way. I think the guy who will emerge is Kennedy McCoy going into his junior year. He's been sort of waiting in the wings behind Justin Crawford. He averages 5.4 yards per carry, so the only issue is that he just hasn't had enough carries right now to make the difference. But now it just seems like it's opened up for him. Martell Pettaway seems like a good complementary back, and then they've got a young guy in Alex Sinkfield who we really haven't seen on the field in a game situation, but I think that McCoy's ready to carry the load this year.
Now, on the other side of the ball, the Mountaineers gave up over 200 rush yards per game last season. From what you're seeing, are there any signs of improvement from the defensive line?
The defensive line is scary right now for WVU. They actually lost two starters to transfers in the offseason. They've got one of the most experienced players coming back is Reese Donahue, who's from West Virginia, so a lot of pride in his game. And I'm excited to see Ezekiel Rose, who used to be on Last Chance U on Netflix, and now he's got an opportunity to really become a star for WVU. But you also got to keep an eye on a graduate transfer just now coming to WVU. Kenny Bigelow, he's from USC. He's a former 5-star recruit trying to finish his career on top, and he's a guy to really look for as they look for replacements to some of those transfers who they lost.
You just mentioned the losses in the defensive line. There were also a lot of losses in that secondary. Who's been a breakout player in that unit this spring?
You know, a guy who last year played an entirely different position, Kenny Robinson. He's going into his 2nd season for the Mountaineers on the field. And last year he was forced to play cornerback, whereas they wanted him to be a safety. And he just so happened to lead the team with 3 interceptions, returned 2 of those for touchdowns in Big 12 play. Kenny Robinson now is going back to what is seen as a more natural fit for him at the free safety position. And I think now that he's got a year under his belt, really understanding how this secondary works, he's a guy to keep an eye on, along with Derek Pitts, another in-state guy, the highest rated prospect a couple of years ago when he was a senior coming out of South Charleston. Now he has a chance to really make an impact at the cornerback position. And that's not even mentioning Drayvon Askew-Henry, another position change, but a guy who has been a stalwart in WVU's secondary his entire career.
Certainly a lot to keep an eye on. Geoff, thank you as always for the inside scoop on the Mountaineers. We appreciate it.
Thanks.